we're on in Columbus, Ohio, as you know.
Sure, yeah.
And here's the way the station that has us in Columbus, Ohio, chose to promote this interview. Yeah. Today, at UMich football homer, at Rich Eisen, talks with at Coach Jim for UM. Listen live at 2 p.m. Eastern. Gave the link.
Did they put the M in, or did they do the red X?
No, they put the M's in everything. They put the M, and then
that's nice of them.
Yeah. Coach Jim Harbaugh joins me here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Coach?
I'm good, Rich.
Should I have a problem with the way that the Columbus station promoted this interview, Coach? Should I have a problem with that?
I didn't catch that.
It said they said today at UMich football homer at Rich Eisen talks with at Coach Jim for UM. Is that accurate? Do you think? What do you think?
Should you have a problem with it? I don't think you should have a problem with it. All publicity is good publicity. I don't know why you would have a problem with it.
Now, they spelled my name right. Your Twitter handle too. You know him, and the program's Twitter handle. So I shouldn't have a problem with it, right? I could just continue on with this interview. Start off like that.
I can't speak for you, but I don't see where you would have a problem.
Okay. So how many frequent flyer miles do you have, Coach? Are you in the seven figures? What do you think?
I don't know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few.
Because you've been all over the map. You've been all over the globe. How did you like the Italian trip where you took the kids to Italy? Did you get out of that what you were hoping to get out of taking the team there to Italy?
All and more. It was an incredible trip. The best thing I've ever been a part of on a football team. The wonderful thing was it was all about the players and their experience. And not all learning is done in the classroom. Not all learning is done on a football field. And from an educational standpoint, from a team bonding standpoint, experience, it had everything. It was spiritual. It was football. It was teamwork. It was enlightening on a lot of levels.
So what did they learn? I mean, what in particular can you pinpoint, say that these kids are and the team's better off for having done that in Italy?
Well, it starts with seeing things you've never seen before, tasting food you've never tasted before, hearing a language that you've never heard. Imagine seeing the Coliseum. There was active events there for 600 years, building the Pantheon that was built 80 years after the death of Christ, 2,000 years old. And then hearing some of the guys talk like, wow, that building's 450 years old. And the McDonald's down the street has been there since 1972. We thought that was a landmark. So many things.
Mm-hmm.
And their experience yourself and then experience through others on your team. That's what makes a group trip so wonderful. Why eighth graders go to Washington, D.C., why senior class trips in high school go sometimes to Rome. It's not just your own experience. It's everybody else that's on the trip as well and how they're seeing it and what their reaction to it is. And then even when you come home, people ask you about it, and then you know things that you didn't know before. It's that's why it's so enlightening on so many levels.
Jim Harbaugh joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Did you need to get an advanced team to find out the Pontiff's shoe size prior to presenting him with the kicks that you presented him, Coach?
We did. Sarah Harbaugh did that.
Your wife?
I think she did find out the Pontiff's shoe size.
Can we share that? Can we share that?
Yeah, size 9, but got a size 10 because Pope Francis wears orthotics, so it had to be a little bit bigger.
Huh. Had no idea.
Amazing.
Wow. Okay.
Enlightening on so many levels.
What did
you think of it? Did you follow it?
Of course. Are you kidding me? I saw you drinking from the Trevi fountain. Although, now did you made a wish, even though that's not technically what you're supposed to do in that fountain, correct, Coach?
8-year-old daughter told me you're not supposed to say what your wish is.
Okay.
But and then one thing I'm really proud of, that after the trip was over, 25 to 30 of our players did study abroad, did internships. So about 25 to 28 did study abroad. Then another 5 did European internships, and then another 10 or so traveled during Europe. Our guys had options in the month of May. They could do those things. They could come home and do spring term at the University of Michigan. They could go home to their homes. They could do internships in the United States. Football players had options, which has long not been the case. And throughout the entire month, whether they were abroad or whether they were here studying or back home, we didn't have any incidences. No shenanigans, no kerfuffles, no incidences of any kind. And anybody that knows 18 to 22-year-olds,
Right.
It's quite remarkable and something that we're very proud of.
Jim Harbaugh joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. I was doing my best to pay attention to what was going on in Italy, but at the same time I was sitting on a set in Philadelphia for the NFL draft, hearing the University of Michigan one after another get mentioned. It was a record number of Wolverines for the Wolverines drafted in the draft. What do you think that means for the program as you are trying to continue to build it, Coach?
Well, first and foremost, what a great example so many of our players set, the way they prepared themselves, the 3 to 4 years that they were here at the University of Michigan to put themselves in position to play at the highest level. We like that a lot, and it's a great example set for our younger players and incoming players, that there's a template there of how you go about developing player development, and the youngsters that accomplished it, the 11 that were drafted, and then the other 8 that were signed to free agent contracts, they carried the majority of the water. I mean, it's their accomplishment, but it does set a great example for our younger players.
Well, one of the moments you perhaps were missing it because you were handing the Pontiff some orthotics was my favorite moment, Coach, and I made them in the NFL Network truck re-show it, the live shot of Browns fans celebrating Jabril Peppers being drafted to the state of Ohio, and one or two of them, it looked like we're wearing Buckeyes gear. They were high-fiving. They were fired up. I loved it. You missed it.
They should be.
Yeah.
They got an outstanding football player.
Mm-hmm.
Very explosive, very fast, and he loves football. That's I think they're already seeing somebody who's just head down working and to make his team better, hungry to make his team better, and that's who he is. That's what they're getting. Fans
are fickle, though, don't you think, when it comes down to it, Coach? Right? 1 minute they hate him, they love him.
Generalize that way, I would
yes.
say.
Let's just generalize.
Just
our Ohio.
Support here in Michigan,
just Ohio fans
from our alumni has most always been supportive.
A few more minutes with the coach of the University of Michigan football. When was the last time you spoke to Colin Kaepernick, Coach?
We've talked.
Okay, and how is he handling what is happening with him? Not having a gig as most OTAs are wrapping up this week?
Well, I talked to him. He had about a 4-hour workout. The last time we talked, it was we talked a little before the workout, and then we talked after his workout. And it was about a 4.5 to 5 hour workout. So that's how he's handling it. He's preparing himself and getting ready to play football. It's what he wants to do. It's what he loves to do, and how he's handling it is preparing himself for the season.
Do you think he is a starting quarterback in this league still, and why do you think other teams might think otherwise, Coach?
I do believe that, yes. He is still in his 20s, and he's been very successful at the NFL level as a starting quarterback, and I'm on record, well documented. I think he will win championships before his career is finished.
Well, what did you find about him that you were able to connect with him in a way that it seems like so few other coaches have been able to unlock what he did on the field, Jim?
The ultimate competitor, very talented, gives tremendous effort. He'll be the first one in the building. He'll be the last to leave. And the one thing you can't count on Colin Kaepernick is he tells the truth. I've never, ever heard him lie to me or anybody else.
And a couple more minutes left with Coach, University of Michigan. For those who are looking at the number of players that you just mentioned, left 19, as you said, to go to the National Football League. What challenges are you facing to replace those kids right there on the campus as you get ready for Florida for opening weekend, Coach?
Yeah, it's you can look at part of the depth chart. I mean, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 guys that are returning as starters. So a lot of the depth chart has been wiped clean at the first string level. So that has created a lot of competition. It's created opportunities for the fellows that have been sitting behind a guy for a year or 2 years. And now their opportunity is to be the full-time starter and show what they can do. And so the waters are hot in that regard. And that's been a fun team to be coaching. Been working since the winter conditioning, spring ball. Now we're into summer conditioning, and we've got a young team, and we have some good returning starters as well at some key positions, which is good. But it's a young and talented team, and it's our job to coach them and get them ready, and their job to get themselves prepared to carry the load. But it's much better than having a young and untalented team. That would be the worst possible.
What do you think of the Friday nights being on the schedule for Big Ten football, Coach?
I'm not for it at all. I think Friday night is for high school football.
And what can be made of this? Is there any way to reverse course, do you think, for this?
Well, I think there's a way. I think there's a way that'll happen. Sometimes the pendulum swings one way and do something that's not productive for the game of football, and then it has the ability to swing back the other way. I don't know that is set in stone, nor should it be. And I think to voice the opposition of playing college football games on Friday night should be voiced.
Last one for you, Coach. Are you still continuing the honorary captain program? And if so, who shall dare to step into the same shoes I wore last year, Coach?
Well, there's going to be some good ones. We're putting that together now, and we'll announce who that list is. But people of your stature, Rich,
okay,
what we're striving for.
Well, if you need me to help in any way, shape, or form, get folks ready for it, or give them the idea of how to conduct themselves and have a successful weekend, I'm available for you to have those folks contact, Coach. Okay.
And I would not hesitate to have them contact you. You set an example at the very highest level.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thanks for calling in. Take care. Say hi to your family and everybody in Ann Arbor for me.
Always a pleasure talking to you, Rich. Thank you.
You got it. That's Jim Harbaugh.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that video, be sure to download our app. Don't have any memory on your phone? Let's start to delete some of those slow-mo videos you have. And you know which ones I'm talking about.